All right. Probably one more of 27.
All right.
I don't even know what part we're on. 4 or 5, maybe.
Why not?
Okay, so we're at the part where Jesus just gave up his spirit.
Okay.
At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two. A lot happens. The curtain of the temple was torn in two, though, from top to bottom. Why?
Okay, let's
I
stop
think there's
right
a
there.
lot to that.
The Jews made their temple tabernacle divided into 3 ways. There's a court for the Gentiles to come and offer sacrifice. There's the inner court, which is where Jews only could go. And then there's the
Holy of Holies.
Holy of Holies. And that's where the high priest goes in to offer blood. And only one can go in there. Right?
And it's that what you were just talking about in the last episode where once a year they do the sacrifice and God comes there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there's a myth that goes on that says they had to tie a rope around his waist in case he died in there because nobody could go in there and if he didn't come out for a while. But that's a myth. It's been made up. So if you ever hear a Christian say that, know that. Okay, so between the Holy of Holies and the inner court was a thing called the veil. And in the Old Testament, that sucker was like that thick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was hung. It was like a piece of carpet.
Okay.
And it covered the entrance into that place.
Okay.
So when Jesus died, we have records of people saying the veil was torn from top to bottom. That means it's like God said, shh. Okay? So what he was saying there, it's symbolic of there's no more separation here between me and humans. There's no more rites and rituals. There's no more animal blood. No more of this stuff needs to be. The veil's torn in two. I am accessible because of what my son has done. You are accessible to me. You can call out to me and I will hear. Okay? You don't have to be a Jew. That's what they have in Mormon temples.
Veily veil.
Veily veils. They put a veil back up.
So wow.
And you're worthy to go in. You do the hand signals and everything. And when you do it right, they part the veil and you get to enter in. It's a reappropriation of all this old stuff to the new way, right? But it's totally a mockery of what Christ did.
Does it speak? Yeah, that's unreal.
Yeah.
That's like just plain ridiculous.
Yeah.
But does it speak of another veil for the bride in like the preparation time for the apostles where they would apply it to themselves?
No.
Okay.
But you know what's interesting is Paul will later say that Jesus' flesh is the veil now. That we enter into the presence of God through his flesh. It's a whew.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, that's why, because you're smart.
Oh.
Yeah, you're smart. I mean, most people hear that. Well, how is that? Well, it's symbolic. It's spiritual.
Well, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because of all of this. Like, if I heard it at the time, I wouldn't get it, of course. But
Yeah. So there's the veil, ripped in two by what? An earthquake, probably, because the earth shook at that time, and that's historically recorded. Okay, there was earthquakes. Okay, and guess what those earthquakes did? They broke open the graves for people.
All the graves?
Not all the graves, but some of the graves in Jerusalem. Because they buried them in tombs and sarcophagus and all kinds of stuff, right? So the earthquake shook and broke open the graves. After Jesus rises, Matthew's going to tell us some of the dead were seen. Yeah. They report later, I don't know if it's where it is, but the dead were seen walking around Jerusalem. And it's because Jesus rose from the grave, and it was a witness to those Jews then, something's happened. I just saw Fred, who died of a heart attack down the street, and he was walking around.
What?
Yeah. They weren't the first to come out. They could only come out later, but the graves were broken open when the veil was written too, and so it allowed the dead to come walking out. I'm just telling you.
I don't remember reading that.
You will.
Are you sure?
Come. I'm positive. They can make things up. Jeez, my children never trusted that.
I don't see it. I typed the word dead and nothing comes up except
in chapter 27.
27.
It's been 28.
No.
Or
I've read 28.
I'll bet you right now it says
Okay,
it.
let's talk.
You
Well,
got it.
in Matthew.
Yeah,
You think
Matthew.
in Matthew it
I
says
think it's
it.
in Matthew. Yeah. Keep going.
What are we betting?
We'll get to it. I don't know.
Okay. Gave up his spirit. I'm going to make sure the earth shook the rock. So at that moment, the curtain temple torn in two. The earth shook, the rock split, the tombs broke open. Oh my gosh! It's the next sentence!
This is so fun with girls. They're so certain on their certainties. And as a dad, you just have to sit there and wait.
I feel like I would have remembered that. It's the next sentence.
Yeah.
The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life.
Yeah.
They
So
came
now
up.
that we cleared up it is there, I just want to say of many holy people, I just want to say that these were people that had to have been holy in that day. For the simple reason, it wasn't going to be Abraham or Moses or David that came out. Why? Because if they came out of the grave, no one would know who they were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
they wouldn't know that they were dead.
Yeah.
Okay? So it wasn't them. It was just a sign for people to say, whoa, the Prince of Life must have died on that cross, to give more witness to them, giving them every chance to believe.
Yeah.
Okay?
I feel like that's weird to me because Jesus is I thought Jesus coming back to life was the thing that made him different.
It is. But, okay, you have to understand how Hebrews write. They write like a movie script. They don't write chronologically. Okay.
Oh.
So you can have flashbacks and forward facts and all kinds of stuff in their
Yeah.
writing. So when Matthew includes that the graves are broken open and many holy people, this is after Jesus rose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody came out of the grave before Jesus resurrected.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
Got that?
Because I'm taking note of the earthquakes too. Because there's an earthquake here when he dies.
Yeah.
And there's an earthquake to break open Jesus's tomb later.
Yeah.
So they're different,
Earthquakes.
but
You think, or maybe they're not.
yeah, because it's saying the earth shook and the tombs broke open and the bodies of the holy people.
Yeah.
So
you
like,
can't really tell.
huh? Okay. Interesting. They came out of the tombs, went into the holy city and appeared to many people. Okay. Yeah, I just wrote that was confusing to me, so you cleared that up. So those who were those who were guarding Jesus saw all this and said, "Surely he is the Son of God."
I said I won't tease her.
Said, "Surely he is the Son of God," and others were there, including the Marys and the mother of Zebedee's son.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a centurion say, wow, this was true. Yeah. So not a believer. It's like, mock him a little bit, put him up there. Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how could they not? They drive in even harder after this. All the talk about collusion.
Yeah. They drive hard.
Like, go here and here's our alibi.
Yep.
And here, yeah. So Joseph, it just notes that Joseph of Arimathea had himself become a disciple of Jesus and goes and asks to take Jesus' body, and he lets him.
He's a rich man, and he's part of the Sanhedrin, which was the ruling council of the Jews.
Oh.
And he was a disciple of Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah. Secretly, probably like Nicodemus, who was also of that council, who came secretly. So we know that among the Jewish leaders, there were some who believed, but usually they're described as but fearing men. They would secretly come.
Oh.
It's all right.
Sad. Those people make me sad. Okay. Like, what did you say he was a part of? The Sanhedrin?
Sanhedrin, yeah.
And that was when it refers to chief priests and elders. That's him. So he was of the people that put him to death.
He was of that group, but he probably wasn't saying crucify him, crucify him. He was probably sitting there watching the proceedings.
All right. Okay. Yeah. How big is this group?
Big. I mean, I don't know how big. You could be anything from 30 to 60 or something like that.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay. And then the chief priests and Pharisees told Pilate that he announced, wait, what am I writing? Well, that Joseph took the body, wrapped it in clean linen and cloth, placed it in a new tomb that he had to cut out of rock, rolled a big stone in front. Mary Magdalene and the other Marys were sitting there. So then the next day, the one after preparation day, what does that mean?
The day after preparation day. So it's okay. I can't get into it because there are so many not consistent facts about when he died on what day. And because of the Passover was a special Passover. They had Passover, they had special Passovers, they had Sabbath days, they had special Sabbath days. And so they had preparation days. And so it's kind of convoluted on how to see, like some good friends believe that he died on Wednesday, not Good Friday. You know, there's all sorts of things, and then he rose again on Sunday. You know, so I can't even go in it because there's so many different views. All I'm saying is that there was a preparation for the celebration of the Passover that went on, and during that time, Jesus' body stayed in the tomb, or they came to prepare his body because they couldn't do it on the Passover day. They had to get him in the tomb before sunset. That was part of their burial laws. So Joseph said, put him in this tomb. And then they came to dress his body properly afterward.
Okay.
And by the way, the linen that Joseph used, there's something called the Shroud of Turin. And it has this emblazed imagery of a guy who looks just like Jesus on it. And many people appeal to that as being viable evidence of his material existence, that his illumination burned that into the cloth. And like Calvary Chapel here, they believe that's a material sign of him. I don't put any credence in it. It could be, but I don't. No way am I going to look to anything material to prove anything. I find it a lesser faith to say I need that too.
Yeah.
But that's the linen.
Okay. Okay, so wait, just to be clear though, like we had a big talk about how he died on the day of the lambs being killed.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For sure.
But this stuff about the preparation day, it's all kind of that stuff isn't.
Yeah. It could be you kill the lamb then, but then you have to prepare the lamb. You have to cut the fat and the bones, and you have to get all the herbs and all the table ready and everything else. So I don't know that it went, you do all the preparation, kill the lamb, and cook it and eat it. I don't know the chronology of all of those things.
But I guess I just mean because the other stuff we don't know, does that mean that we don't know that he was actually killed at the time of the lambs being killed?
Well, we go by faith that the record's correct, and the record says it was at the third hour, and we know from the Old Testament that at the third hour that's when they would do it. And the Jewish rabbinical writings from that time all describe that third hour being when the lambs are killed.
Okay.
That's really important to Jews, the timing of everything.
Okay. And then finally, the chief priests and Pharisees went to Pilate. Sir, they said, we remember that while he was still alive, the deceiver said, after 3 days I'll rise again. So they kind of prepare for that. They give order to the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise, his disciples may come and steal the body and tell people that he's been raised from the dead. And eventually they use that again and as the excuse that they did that.
To seal the thing would mean to put the Pilate's seal, wax seal on the tomb. And to show that he's in there, he's dead. If this seal's broken, then someone's messed with it.
It's like Michael Clayton.
Just like it.
The seal on the crime scene.
Wow. That's true.
I just had never seen known of that idea of a seal like on the door to tell if someone broke it.
Yeah, that's why kings would send with their signet ring. They put the wax signet ring and send it. And if the person got it and that was broke, they knew it was red.
Oh. And only he has that ring, so you know it. Okay. No one can repeat it.
And you know what was on the ring? A little smiley face.
I can't.
It's a PP below it. Pontius Pilate.
Oh my gosh. A little smiley face.
You gotta have.
Oh man. And this last deception will be worse than the first.
Yeah, because they're saying the first deception is he's walking around saying that he's God.
Yeah.
The last deception is he's risen from the grave. We don't need
can't
that
let that
shit.
happen.
Yeah.
Guys, they like speak so transparently.
Mm-hmm.
It's classic. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
This is really like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Pilate answered, "Take guard, go make the tomb as secure as you know how." So they went and made the tomb secure, put the seal on the stone, posting the guard. That's chapter 27.
That's beautiful. How are we doing on time?
We are at 16:30.
All right. Well, we cut it short. Give
Cut it
people
short.
A benefit.
Got a break today.
Yeah.
Submit questions at idon'tgetthebible.com if you'd like. We'll answer a few now.
All right.
Bye-bye.